Hello, this is not going to be a long video, and I'm adjusted weird, so I apologize if I have a double chin and I look like I just woke up with yesterday's makeup on, because that's true. I haven't had time to do anything because there's a work emergency, and that's what I'm tending to. So if I am just a mess, then that's just what it's gonna be. But this was important, so we're going to be talking together. I'm really far forward in the car, so I've got stuff in the back seat, so I look terrible, and you get to see it really up close today. So that's fun on a day that I had no time to prep. And you can see the dent in my forehead from where it was fractured up close today, since I didn't have time to crop it out or wear bangs over it like I normally do. So you get to see full-fledged the dent. There's no one in front of me right now. I'm on the back row by my house, so if you can see, it's there and there. You can totally see it now. So that's gonna be on my mind too. Yeah. Anyway, hi, good morning. I watched a video that had my mind so brought up in past thoughts that I haven't thought about in a long time that I had to come here and make a video impromptu, even with a work emergency. So there's this YouTuber, her name is Ticking Together, and I hadn't ever seen her before, but the moment I saw her video, that I've watched many of her videos, I love her, we're gonna start with that. The moment I saw her videos, it was so obvious that she truly had Tourette's. Not that I would question anybody right away up front, unless I had like a really good reason to, or I was watching a drama video or something along those lines. Otherwise I would never just question somebody. But she was so obviously somebody who was really struggling, and she was doing these videos to help people, and I love that, and I appreciate that so much. And I watched a bunch of her videos, and I found them very informative. I really enjoyed them. And she gets so much hate because of how many people fake tics, and that really broke my heart. And I wanted to kind of jump on here to maybe help her. I know I don't have a big platform by any means, a small one, but I wanted to try to help out because I am not an expert in the field by any means, but she's not a best friend now. We haven't talked a lot lately, but when I was growing up, I had a really close friend, one of my best friends, and she had Tourette's. And if she's watching this, I will keep as many of your personal details. I won't say your name, I won't say what your tics were. I will just say what my experiences were, like my feelings. And I have nothing but love and respect, and I'm proud of you as a person. And I hope that you see this is nothing but positive, that I'm talking about this. I apologize if anything I say is hurtful or harmful to you, or you feel it's unwarranted or disrespectful. It's none of my intention. It's not my intention whatsoever. My intention is to help the people who are getting bullied because of how many people have recently faked Tourette's, and it's harming the lovely people who actually have Tourette's and are trying to help. So that's my intention with this. I hope that if this is seen by that person, it's understood. That being said, I grew up, and I was in school when I was younger, and then I did like computer school for a while when I was older, so I could graduate early and go to college early, get credits early and stuff. This was all like when I was married young and a bunch of other stuff. So different last name, different life, whatever. But anyways, that's not the point. The point is, I was in the middle of was homeschooled, and I was this chubby little redhead who rode horses, almost every day, and who was being trained to ride horses by a couple of people, and who, that was like my love. And then my grandparents, one was the head of the English department and one was a substitute teacher. They were teaching me from home. They were my adopted parents. So I was not exactly, and they were Jehovah's Witnesses. They were really strict, and they were overly strict because they were grandparents, not parents, Even though they were my parents, they were from an older generation. My grandpa's in his 80s now, and he's doing wonderful. Knock on wood. Cardboard counts. And my grandma, who's my mom, is the most spry person in the world in her 70s, and she gets around better than I do. So, and she's just wonderful. So, I'm just so proud of them, and I love them now, and they've grown a lot as people, and I'm more open-minded now. When I was growing up, that wasn't the case. So I was very limited in who I could have around. I took a resilient person. I took people who had also different circumstances, and who we sought each other out. And I had a friend who, that was her situation, and we really connected, we really bonded, and we had wonderful years from little kid until, legal teenagers, but legal, and even, legal adult, like young 20s, we're really close, I would say. Especially teenagers, legal teenage adults, but teenage years, we're really close. She was really important to me, but she had Tourette's, and she had some tics, and it reminds me of this girl because they were specific tics, a way to see that it's not always the same for everybody, but like with this girl ticking together, you can see that you can just see that her tics, she has a couple of them, like she has something she says, and she has something that she does, she like hits her chest, and then she has a thing she repeats, and you can see that she goes back to, she has more than that, but the same few, let's say 4 things, she repeats them, she goes back to them, depending on how stressed out she is, and I'm sure there's others she does too, but you can see that her tics, the things that give her comfort, they get worse if she's more stressed out, but they're the same things, and that's a way to really see, in some cases, that's a way to see that somebody's is being honest about their tics. I remember my friend had a certain tic. Everyone didn't realize that it was Tourette's, and not everyone really knew about it when we were growing up as very early 90s kids, late 80s, early 90s. For her case, and I was very, very, very early, start of the 90s, whatever. And in that situation, it was very, unheard of with a lot of people, or it was very not talked about. It was heard of by the people who had it and families who had to deal with it. And that was kind of it, and doctors, stuff like that. So she would constantly have people giving her remedies on how to fix this issue she had, and she would open up and talk to me about how she felt, and I felt so bad for her. I also remember, I've never told her this, so if she sees this, I don't know, this is a part I was worried about. When she was older, she joined the military, and they allowed her in with having Tourette's, and I remember feeling like she was joining because of some pressure from somebody she was with at the time, and I remember being so terrified. I was in a not so great, it wasn't a bad relationship, but it was not mentally healthy for me. The person was a lot older, and I was desperate to get out of the situation I was in, and it was just unhealthy for those kind of reasons. But I remember being so scared that she was. I actually feel emotional. That's shocking. I haven't thought about this in a really long time. But I remember feeling so scared for her that she was gonna get hurt. That something would happen would stress her out. She would have like a tick, and she was gonna get shocked, or something was gonna happen to her. And I just remember not knowing. I mean, of course, I told her that I hope it went well and that I loved her. We used to say I love you more a million times before we hang up the phone as kids. And I just remember I was so scared for her. I didn't know what to do. And I couldn't believe. I was mad at our government for being willing to risk my friend. I knew she was so and is so smart and capable, and she was so strong physically and emotionally, and I knew if anyone would be amazing at anything, it would have been her. But I was mad that they let her do it because I didn't want her to get hurt. I knew she was capable of it, but I just didn't want a tick to happen and for that to give away her position somewhere. Or this was me as, 17-year-old, I believe, thinking this, if I'm remembering right. I was just really scared for her. And I just remember how it felt. And I'm still debating if I'm going to send this to her, this video, and just tell her, like, hey, just so you know, I did make something that referred to my feelings. I often think of how, like, close we were when we were younger and how much fun we had with horses and with life, and how sure we had different things that we did as we grew older. But I mean, now I'm a counselor. If anything, I'm one of the more calm adults out of everyone I've known, by far. And she's just a lovely person, and we're both parents. I think it would be really cool to talk to her again and see how she is. Some of the first things in my life I ever did were with this person. We did so much stuff when we were little kids. I mean, she's a couple years older than me, so when she was 12 years old and we were playing like Truth or Dare to experiment and do fun stuff together, I was 10 years old, and some of the first like really out there stuff that like I tried was with her, and it was fun. Like, it was I was so young, and she was young, and I was so young too. But it was like life experience. We did so much fun stuff together that wasn't that too. So it'd be cool to talk to her again. But I don't know. Seeing this girl be so passionate about helping people, and for goodness sakes, I'm back in school so I can get more accreditation so I can help a larger group of people, because that's what I want to do forever too. And seeing this person, out of the kindness of her heart, make videos to help people like that means everything. That's everything that I love and that I respect, and not the only things I respect, but it's a big part of what I respect in people. And seeing how obvious it is that this person is not faking Tourette's or anything that she says, and how many people are just ripping her apart in the comments, it just breaks my heart. And other people were asking such constructively wonderful, beautiful comments. They were asking her about what it's like to sleep with Tourette's, and if she has a tic or she's hitting herself, Should they try to intervene and stop her so she doesn't get hurt, or would that make it worse? And things that are so beneficial for the outside world to know. And I was so proud of this person for making this channel and answering these tough questions. But like she said, it's hard for her to want to read her comments to answer these questions because everybody is out there harassing her, and most of the comments are awful, and it breaks my heart. And I really hope that me making this video will, I don't know, maybe bring more awareness to people that not everyone is faking, and pay attention to how they're acting. Are they consistent in their tics? You can tell if somebody's faking. I at least think so. There might be one or two people who are good at faking it, but I just think that you can tell if she's had a stressful day. It's worse. You can see sometimes it's not there much at all, just very mildly, just like almost body jolts. You can see with her it's really there, and I really hope that this helps shed some light that we need more awareness for people who actually have disorders and diseases, and who have all sorts of things from PTSD, which I suffer from, to Tourette's, to anything, something you're born with, something that you get, something like a disease, something like anything. We need diverse conversation about all topics, and when somebody genuinely has experience in something, we can't jump down their throat and treat them like these outcasts. I'm also hoping that maybe my friend is willing to take however long this video will be, 15 or 20 minutes, and maybe listen to this and be willing to reach out to the girl herself and give her some first-hand knowledge, somebody who grew up with it, and ways to talk to people and get them to, I don't know, maybe listen better and be less cruel, and maybe be able to talk to her about ideas that I can better handle these topics myself. Just because I talk to people for a living does not mean I have all the answers. Just because I do, just because you talk to people with peer support, and just because you do, counseling work does not mean that you always have all the answers. And when someone lives something firsthand, just like I've lived certain things firsthand, it does help. That experience is so valuable, especially when you've lived a life through it and you're doing good and you know how to handle it well. It's just the most valuable knowledge anyone can have. So I wanted to leave you guys with that, and thank you for listening. I know it's a different topic, a very different topic than kind of yesterday's, but I felt it was really important, and I hope that some people will listen. I love you guys, and thank you.